Previously, our victory over a large Thracian army in the north opened up the path for us to march on their capital, and the Scipii brought reinforcements to Apollonia in an attempt to sally out, but our quick counterattack was enough to capture the town and destroy the Roman forces. Our kingdom hasn't expanded much in the last few turns, so we'll need to ensure we start making some progress again soon. We're still recovering from the loss of our 2 generals in our previous fight with the Thracians, and our army at Apollonia has some recovery to do before it can move on Italy. We're sending troops to the different towns where they can retrain, cavalry at Larissa and pikemen at Thessalonica. Hoplites can also be retrained at Thermon. By sending the units to each of the different towns, we not only can retrain more units, but can also retrain our army more quickly, so it should be back up to full strength soon. Once this is done, we can now turn our attention to the east. With the Thracian armies defeated, we can now lay siege to Tillus, and will do so with our army, preparing for an assault shortly. We also have our merchant, who will send to timber, before taking our army and heading towards Byzantium. Byzantium isn't too well defended, and there's an army just outside which could give us an opportunity for a draw out on the city. However, our assault will have to wait for next turn. We're continuing to build our navy at Corinth to support our Italian invasion. We'll also keep building our economy with farms at Sparta and a temple at Corinth. Over the end turn, the Thracians come requesting peace. As this isn't in our favour currently, given our military strength, we'll demand they give us some territory, knowing this is something they can't accept. With the start of our new turn, we'll complete our military manoeuvres for retraining. We've now got a number of phalanx pikemen from Thessalonica who will join up with our main force at Apollonia, bolstering our infantry there. We can also bring back our cavalry from Larissa. We can also see a Brutii army has landed, again, this time in the Peloponnese, which we'll have to deal with. Without troops in the area, we'll likely need to bring back some of our army from Apollonia. Over at Byzantium, our merchants' attempt to buy out the competition doesn't go well. Back to the defense of the Peloponnese, we'll take 2 squads of light lancers from Larissa and send them to Athens, where we're also recruiting some levy pikemen. We'll send our navy out to attack the Julii navy, and, with that battle won, we can then pick up our troops and move swiftly to support our Greek cities, once our army regains its movement. Next, it's time to launch our assault on Byzantium. We attack the army outside its walls, which drags in the garrison forces as reinforcements. We need to destroy both armies to leave the city open for our capture. The first army is only a general's bodyguard. We'll take our cavalry, a squad of light lancers and our own general, and loop around on either flank, before supporting with a squad of our mercenary hoplites. Our cavalry make it around each flank, without the enemy general moving. But once our hoplites draw close, the enemy charge and decimate our infantry before our cavalry can engage. The enemy general then turns to charge at our general, who meets them in combat, with the light lancers charging into their rear shortly after. Fighting is fierce, but we're able to kill the enemy general, and with that, the entire unit rounds. 1 army down, 1 to go. The Thracian garrison force emerges from the forest, and we quickly line up our troops to face them. We have our pikemen in a line, with our cavalry moving out to the right, before marching towards the Thracian forces to meet them. 1 unit of Thracian soldiers is quick to latch onto our cavalry and pursues them. We'll pull back our cavalry and send it out to the left. With the Thracian forces seemingly distracted by our cavalry, our infantry are able to close the gap between the 2 forces. The Thracian infantry is split, with 1 unit chasing after our mercenaries, while the others focus on our cavalry. We'll peel off our general and save him for later in the fight, as it could be useful to run down the enemy. Having already taken significant damage, our mercenaries break, but this gives our pikemen a chance to engage against the 1 stray Thracian unit. Our general is kept out of the fighting, but our light lancers get a charge on the enemy peltasts, before we pull them back to charge into the now routing phalanxmen. We then send them after the remaining enemy peltasts, and kill them as they flee. We'll continue to use our light lancers to mop up the remaining Thracian troops that are routing from the battlefield to ensure that the entire army is destroyed. We're able to engage against the final 2 Thracian units with our pikes, bringing in our general for a rear charge, breaking their morale and letting us hunt them down as they rout. A heroic victory for us, with both Thracian armies destroyed, and the city of Byzantium is open for our capture.